Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm Ellie, and this is Trivia Night, the best night of the week. And boy, last week we had, wow, 200 viewers or more. So if you're new and trying us out for the first time, jump on in and put your answers below. I know a lot of people has sent me an email, said, where do we put our answers? I said, you put it in your comments below. And they said, what if they're rewatching or watching it like tomorrow? You could still put your answers below, and I'll go through all of the comments, and you could win. You might win Karen out. Um, and William says, hello. Where's the good vibes? Good vibes for a good trivia show. Do you know your Westerns? William, how well do you know your Westerns? Do you think you got this one tonight? I'm thinking Judith might have it. She might beat out DB tonight. We have usually the same people that play in our chat room, and it's almost like um, we uh, have a little competition going on in here. Now I know that William, he tries to sneak peek off Susan's cheat sheets. Oh, Susan, you don't have cheat sheets, do you? So, and of course, we have three platforms that we're going on. So I'm trying to go through and make sure I hit everybody up. We have a Facebook platform, which DB is on. Some are on the YouTube. We have Investigator News 2, Investigator News Network, and Facebook Investigators. And then we'll be moving this over to Rumble tonight. And I did get emails on when are we going to put some videos out on the William channel of our playlist. I'll get them all in there tomorrow. And I'm thinking about posting. You guys in YouTube miss out on the joke post. I know DB sees them, and my family and friends see them on my page, but I put the majority of them on Hellions, Holes, and Poles. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure I can maybe make a slideshow for those in YouTube so you guys could see it. They're really good posts. They're really funny, and it definitely lightens up your heart for the day. And I try to do it on um, Saturdays or Sundays is when I post them. Now, I only put a few. I only put two or three on investigators. Now, I put about 15 on Hellions, Holes, and Poles. And if you look at the strip that's flowing by, you'll see Hellions, Holes, and Poles. So if you like these jokes, go on over and check them out. So just when we thought they were done spending money, you know, the Biden administration found something else. And this time it's not Ukraine, folks. This time it's the January 6th committee. They're asking for $34 million to continue. The Biden administration Department of Justice has asked Congress for more than $34 million in additional funding to finance its investigation of January 6th, the Capitol incursion. Um, you know what I'm saying is bring forth all the videos. Bring forth all the videos. I know what I watched with Jason Goodman, and he was on the backside of the Capitol, and we watched as people they climbed the wall and walked right past security, and in fact they even opened the doors for him. I'd like to see Nancy Pelosi's text messages. If they're going to spend all this money and we're going to pay for it, why not be transparent? Um, they claim that this administration is very transparent. Yeah, okay. And that they are giving us all the information as possible. The DOJ pleaded that funding the 2023 budget requests in U.S. attorney offices would have to cut budgets to pay for this. Otherwise, um, otherwise it might hurt the budget for the taxpayers in upcoming months. The department investigation has already had more than 870 arrests related to the January 6 incursion. Does anybody care? I'm not even going to go on reading it because it just gets into it of all these people that were arrested, all these people that were going to storm the Capitol and hurt the Congress and do a coup and put Trump in office. I've watched a little bit of it. I like to watch trials, and this one is hard to watch. And I have watched bits and pieces of it, and to me, it's just silly. Time to move on, and Liz Cheney needs to go retire, and they need to retire the January 6th probe. And there are people that were there to do bad things. There's always bad people in the crowd, folks. Now, what I seen that day, one gentleman was in there with a cell phone. I didn't see much. I seen everybody doing selfies, even Furman, a dude with the little horns, and Furman. He put his feet up on the desk. He didn't harm anybody. He wasn't looking for Congress. I never once in any of the videos I've watched had them looking for Congress. They were just wanting to look through the Capitol. And guess what? Some of my ladies were in that crowd that day. And they said they followed around a lot of the people that seemed like they were going to do something. And really, it was just selfies. They just wanted selfies. So, if they would have busted in on the room, they would have said, "Hey, Pelosi, let's go do a selfie. I think that's all it would have been. I don't think they would have been hurt anybody. Um, so there were. I like that. We still have January 6th political prisoners without bail in D.C. That's right. That's right. That's very, very true. So I'm going to get on to the first trivia question. And now this is Westerns, folks. So get your Western hat, your cowboy hat on, get your guns, your holsters, and get ready. And you know what? Here at trivia night, we let the cows moo. Um, there's a moo problem over there in Europe, so you might have to watch the last show to find out about the moo moo, and they want the cows to whisper. So how can people? All right, here we go. I'm gonna. How can people not see Democrats, not see the lies? You know, that was one of my biggest questions, Stevie. And what it is there are people that have voted Democrat all their lives. And what they see on the news is now, if you put in gas is only being risen by the oil tycoons and the gas stations, and you take that away, what do you have left? Is Biden saying how wonderful everything is, inflation, and that it's only temporary. And a lot of people do believe this. And what gets me, DB, is when you talk to Democrats, they really do think that this is transitional, that here in the next few months, something good is going to happen because they promised it. Now, and of course, they're throwing in the fact that the Republicans, if they get in office, they're going to ruin it all. What if, this is why I run that, my voting ad. What if everything starts going good? It's only proof. And I think, and like I said, I think it was yesterday, I want the Democrats to give the GOP a chance to prove themselves, like we have given the Democrats the chance to prove themselves. We've rode along with them. Now it's time for them to ride along with us and see what we can do. I'm going to try to get as many of these up as possible. Follow Hitler playbook, tell lies. Well, it's not, Susan's, it's not necessarily Hitler. It is the fascist playbook, and it's Marxism. And there is if you look at the Marxism book, you look at fascist, you look at socialism, and then you look at World Economic Forum, and you look at the World Economic Forum and see what Klaus Schwab has in store for us. It's a playbook that the Democrats have put in since 1870s. They have been wanting to do this, that one party system, one party rule of socialism since the late 1800s, going into 1900s, to where they chased out the Whig program or the Whig party. Then they started working on the Republicans. And that's when we had the Democrats and the Republicans and a two-party system. Even George Washington, get this, he didn't want a two-party political system. I don't know how many knew that. A lot of the forefathers said, no, let's not have two parties. Let's not have one party. Let's not have any political parties. But now, as we look today, the forefathers are probably rolling in their graves. So let's see. Democrats will not think on sharing power with Republicans. That's right. They don't want to. All right. So here we are. Trivia. Now let's see how many of you guys can. The first few are easy. I know you guys are going to get them. And then I made them harder as they go. All right. So, Kwai Chang King, a Shaolin monk, and I probably pronounced that wrong, who fled from China to the U.S. Name the show. Name the show. Kwai Chang King. It was one of the 19, I'm going to say 70s, early 70s. It wasn't really a Western, but it was listed in the Western trivia today. I type in Google Westerns, Western trivia, and it gave me a big old list. And so that's where I get the questions from. All right, let's see what some have to say. Karen and William. And Karen even said that they are delusionals on what the party is wanting. We are getting quite a few answers in. So how many watched that? The ones that are answering Kung Fu, did you guys? Kung Fu. I like that one, William, right there. Kung Fu. Was it a kunk? Was it a show you didn't watch, or was it a show you watched? So where's Linda G and Linda and Judith tonight? Little grasshopper. There's a quote from the show, Little Grasshopper. Susan said she never watched. Well, let me put it up there. Susan said she never watched it. DB said yes. I did. Well, my mom watched it. My dad was so into news. I mean, he had 2, 3 TVs. And get this, when I was in high school, he had 4 TVs. He'd watch it once, because they didn't have all the different things you could do like they do now. Boy, he'd love today. But my sister and my mom loved this show. So, of course, we were the rest of us kids. There's 6 of us in my family. So we were all forced to sit around the TV and watch it. So the answer, I think everybody knows. Answer is Kung Fu. And if you're watching over there on Facebook, be sure to put your answers in the comments. And if you're rewatching it tomorrow or Sunday, go ahead and put it in there. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see if I can catch you guys. Like I said, they go harder as they go. Cartwright and his sons, Adam Haas and Little Joe, who lived and worked on the Ponderosa, named the show. This was a 60s TV series. This is easy. I know you guys. I think even Susan watched this one. I was very young. Let's see. We got some answers coming in really quick. These guys are jumping in on it tonight. So I'm going to get on with the next news article. Top House Democrats finally admits the truth who to blame for inflation. But we all knew. Now, they say a Democrat, James Clyburn of South Carolina, said during Thursday appearance on MSNBC that Biden administration and congressional Democrats knew some of their moves would spur inflation. In fact, they knew it would. All of us knew this would be the case. And when we put the place in this recovery program of the inflation bills, anytime you put more money into the economy, prices tend to rise. And we did know that. And that it's going to, a big gouging of paychecks were going to take place. And that's what Senator Warnock is concerned about down in Georgia. We knew that the moment we went in to aid Ukrainians and the Russians, that it could possibly undercut the administration. So they cut the deal with OPEC nations as long as they could, knowing that it would raise the cost of living. And then the Biden went ahead and signed that American Rescue Plan, knowing that the 1.9 trillion in spending in March was going to raise the cost of everything across the border. Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act, which consistently, largely, the green energy program. And not only that, healthcare system, massive increase in funding for the Internal Revenue Service. All of this, they said, knew that it would shoot the price index up to over 8 points. And after rising to 8.3, they realized they had made a mistake. And not only that, but we were looking at 9.1% in June, which the media never really did cover. And so they're blaming the high gas prices on Putin, on Trump, on the pandemic, on everything but what they knew was going to happen. And this senator said they all knew, every single one of them. And when they all voted on it, they were pushed by Nancy Pelosi to vote on it. And that it was an understanding that this would raise the cost of living. Yeah, they knew. There you go. They knew it would hurt us. Thank you. And they wanted it to. So let's see. We've got Bonanza. We got Bonanza for the trivia question. So, all right. Let's see what the answer. I know you guys know this answer. It's gonna get interesting. I'm waiting to see what you guys answer on some of these other questions. And the answer was Bonanza. Now let's go on to the next. Rowdy Yates. Let's get William out of the way. Rowdy Yates, second in charge of the Cattle Drive to Trail. It was in 1959-1965. Named the show. Rowdy Yates should be the one that gives you the hint of the name of the show. Let's see if you guys can get this one. All right, so I know Karen was talking about AOC. Well, guess what? She hosts another town hall and it turns into a complete disaster. She dances while the audience yells. I think she basically was finally losing it. And one clip shows what appears to be a discussion about the Centers for LGBT individuals and the comment from someone who may or may not been taking the event seriously. He definitely wasn't taking AOC seriously. And there was more shouts. So that they voted for her and she didn't keep her promise. And a lot of it was over the LGBT individuals. It was mostly about that. And the protesters were temporarily able to disrupt the meeting with jeers, drums, chants, and saying AOC has got to go. It ran into chants. And then all of a sudden she broke out into song, rapping, and chants herself. Oh boy. All right, we got that, and we got that, the Chisholm Trail. We got Rawhide. Of course, don't stand up to, yeah, we got to stand up to the bullies, folks. Start standing up to them because, I had a night of with the college students, and some of my viewers know that I went and talked to a few of them, and I backed down quite a bit on them, and now I went for a second visit, and it was kind of like the first. I went for the third one, and they were starting to name call me, like a Trump lover. And I'm like, no, I'm a plan lover. And they didn't understand the plan. And so now the one of the last few times I went to talk to them, I realized that they're only going to name call me because they don't have an answer to inflation. So I started saying, so you want the gas prices that high? So you want eggs at $9 for a dozen? And you know what? Majority of these college students said, well, we live with my mom and dad. We're not worried about that. Now think on that, because now we're looking at college students who are going to vote for Biden, um, for bigger government and socialism, that everything is a social program that helps them get money to live with their parents. Now, so this is what I'm seeing from the college students. Now, one of the changes I seen was, well, now mom and dad says I can't have all those snacks I was eating. Oh, I can't have soda pop or the Coke like I used to. Now they said, no, I can't eat a half a box of cereal or a half a loaf of bread, or I can't kill off that ice cream no more. Now they're starting to see it. And now their parents are starting to put their hands out and say, we need a little bit of rent. And now they're feeling it. And this is what I was seeing with these college students now that now they're back in school, so they're back in the dorms. But over the summer, just over the summer, they were saying that it's gotten really rough on their parents. And, or either that or single moms. And they're starting to think that maybe they need to get a job to help mom out. And mom might have to get a second job. And they said, this isn't right. What happened? And they looked at me and said, what happened? And I said, this administration. And they just, maybe it's starting to sink in, even to the college students. Okay, let's see. AOC dancing to their chants. So she is so pathetic and unprofessional. Well, you got to think about her background. She's not a politician, she's a bartender. And she was groomed by Bernie Sanders. That should tell you a lot. And now, folks, I don't need to be mean. And boy, I guess I need to get on with trivia. I don't mean to be mean, but a lot of these people that are trying to run for office that's never been in office, bartenders or construction workers or firefighters, or they're very good. They want to make a change, but I don't think they realize what they're going to walk into, because when they walk into that office, things don't change. Everything is set in stone, and they're just there to sign the paperwork. And I'm warning you on this. Unless they're a business person and know how to run a business, it's going to be very hard for them to get anywhere. So things aren't going to go real quick and real fast the way you think. All right, let's find out the answer to this. I don't know. I think only one person got this. The answer is rawhide. Rawhide, and that had Clint Eastwood very young. I think that was the beginning of his acting career. Okay, the Jim Saloon, centered around town. It had the same name and chartered the rise from camp to town. Name the show. The Jim Saloon. I think this is going to be a hard one. Let me move these banners. Okay. The Jim Saloon was centered around the town of the same name as the chartered the rise from the camp to the town. Name the show. I think this is going to be a hard one. Does anybody know? And I can't remember. I can't remember what the show is. I can't. I can't even cheat and sneak ahead and look to give you guys some hints. The Jim Saloon was centered around the town with the same name. Now, DB took a stab at it. He said Deadwood with a question mark. That's over in Facebook. Facebook viewers, did you have that same answer? Karen says no clue. You got the baby tonight? Karen asked the baby. The baby was getting them good last week. The baby knew all the answers last week. And I want to know how you get the answers from that baby. I'm thinking the baby's looking at Susan's uh, 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 cheat sheet. Well, she don't have a cheat sheet. She has an answer sheet. Susan, do we know? Do you know what it is? All right, I'm going to go on with the answer. Let's see. Everybody's saying no clue in the chat room. All right, the answer is Deadwood. Deadwood. What's her name? What's the baby's name, Karen? Get that in there. So the answer was Deadwood. All right, I'm going to move on. Let's get away from AOC. New York Times publishes eco terrorists calling destruction of property for the greater good. Now, what they want to do is the 3rd Precinct police station in Minneapolis and around the cities. They say it's burned a little. No, it's burned a lot. And there was over $2 billion of damage and countless uninsured damages caused by rioters and looters. Many small businesses have been basically gone because they've lost their businesses. And if another riot broke out on the streets, they said it would basically be a heap of ash. Now, what they want to do is they just want to tear it all down. And rebuild with what? Well, the federal government and the city and city councilmen don't know. Now, why not put up low-income housing? They're using all these lawyers. This is what really irritates the snot out of me, folks. Is they've got these portions of towns where they could be putting up low-income apartments, townhouses, duplexes, and so on. But no, they're going to have their lawyers fighting to get into a place in a subdivision that has housing authority and demand they're being racist because they won't let them in. Why not put in like a Dollar Tree store that people can afford or Dollar Tree and then put up low-income apartments? Not make them the projects. The projects was a stupid idea. But see, the feds and the city won't put their money into that because they would rather come up with a social program that will get to the root cause of why why City Hall had to burn, why the police department had to burn. And you know what? Maybe we need to send out a few mental health experts to ask the people what they want. Oh, okay. There we go. That's the name of Karen's new grandbaby. You know, Karen, maybe you'll throw popcorn at me for this. Karen once told me I'll never have a grandbaby. I said, yeah, you will. You just wait. Just wait. Huh, Karen? Miracles happen. Now she's got a beautiful new grandbaby. Oh, hug and enjoy every second of her, Karen. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right. I told you these are going to get a little harder. All right. After a train robbery goes wrong, they find themselves on the run with a posse, hard on their heels. Name the movie. Think about this. After a train robbery goes wrong, they find themselves on the run with a posse, hard on their heels. Name the movie. So I'm going to move on and let's see if you guys could get that one. New York City's homeless are crying foul after they got a good look at Tent City, where there is fresh linens, there is plumbing, there is porta potties, there is Xboxes, there's food, there's TVs, big screen TVs, and telephones. And they're looking at the building they're in with plumbing issues, electrical issues, rats, cockroaches, food that they don't even know what the food is being given to them. And now they're crying foul. They said, no, no. Why is the New York doing this for the illegals and giving them luxury and ignoring the problems of the homeless? They said they want their own little tent and get them out of these um, 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 get them out of these projects they're living in. That's what I call them. They're high rise apartments. If they've got 3 or 4 more floors, see, they put them at 10 and 12. One of them is 18 stories for the projects, and it's gang ridden. And, how long is those Xbox going to make it in those tent cities? The first thing, I heard was, hey, they're sitting there playing, those tents can be cut. Just a sharp object and back and behind these Xbox, cut a little slit and slide them right through, and off they go to Panem. And they said, how long are they going to last? But the whole thing is, folks, why treat illegals that aren't even citizens of the United States when we have so many homeless, so many hungry babies out there? Look at the baby formula. They can't even keep baby formula, and they're giving Xboxes to illegals. Nope, nope, nope. All right, let's see what we got. We've got Big Ben. We've got Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. On 2 of them, DB and Karen both said Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So we will find out the answer here. Answer is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So Karen and DB were right. All right, Clint Eastwood produced a string of westerns. What was the name of all the movies referred to? They have a name, and everybody knows it. There was, let's see if I can get a few of them. There was the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Hang 'em High. High was it High Plains Drifter? Um, okay, throw it in the chat room in the comments and let me know. Hang 'em High. Um, I can't think of them. I agree with you, Karen. That's why, when my son passed away, it took a while. It took a long time, quite a few months. Um, and I still, on his birthday and the day he died and Christmas, because he loved Christmas and Halloween, I have a really hard time. And I don't show it on the show, of course. I try everything I grieve on, you guys never see. Um, so, Clint Eastwood, does anybody know that produced a string of westerns? What was the name of the string of all the movies referred to? They had a name for it. Let's see if you guys know it. All right, we're going to. Um, um, Now, I know you guys, this keeps coming up in the news, and it's weird because, I've been watching the Daryl Brooks trial, and he blows his top because now it has come out that he was a sex offender. And I haven't seen it quite in the trial that I've watched, but he's very irritating. And by law, this judge can tell him to shut the hell up, and she needs to, but she's being very cautious because she doesn't want this to go into an appeal. And if you don't know who Daryl Brooks is, he is the guy that drove through the parade and killed, I think, 7 people, injured about 20. And his trial is going right now. So yeah, he blows his top. He blows his top every morning. He waits until the jury gets in, and then he runs over frivolous arguments to the judge, and then he makes little statements that they have to tell the jury not to listen to, and it's stricken from the record. And I'm not going to get too far with him, but boy, I'm surprised that the media is starting to pick up on him because, with Parkland Shooter, once they started the trial, the media disappeared, and then they didn't show up until the sentencing, and then they were like all there, and it's very sad. But they are watching this guy, and I think it's because he's such a clown. He's acting up. He's stripping in front of the judge. He's being unruly. He won't shut up. And I think that's why I think that it's a clown show for the media, and they're getting a good laugh out of it. All right. The Great Reset. Uh, Leading leaders throughout the globe are now starting to think this could be a wrong idea. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get the answer to this. You can't think of it? Uh, the spaghetti flicks. The spaghetti flicks. DB had spaghetti westerns, but they're the spaghetti flicks, is what they're called. So DB will get the point for that. Um, anyway, but there was quite a few. There was about 4 or 5 movies that were part of that. And Clint Eastwood, I believe, because of what was going on with Hollywood at the time, uh, he came up with his own line. He directed and produced all of his movies. And I think it's because the corruption in Hollywood is what we hear. What I heard coming out of Carmel and having family and friends that live in California, they were saying that he couldn't stand Weinstein. He couldn't stand those that wanted to be perverts and pedophiles. And he distanced himself from it. All right, let's go on to the next question. We're not even halfway through. Um, 1992, 3 trappers protect the daughters of a British colonel in the midst of the French and Indian War, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Madeleine Stowe. Name the movie. This is a 1992, 3 trappers to protect the daughters of a British colonel in the midst of French Indian Wars. This, I would say, is a ladies' kind of movie. I think more women watched this one than the men did. And so this was 1992. I tried to get the old movies and the new movies. Do you know the name of this movie? Let's see. The leaders. We're not only seeing it, but Poland is one. And German economists, and this is surprising because of Poland, that Klaus Schwab has spent decades cultivating a cabal of like minded international thought, trying to get neat leaders. Boy, William, I had to send this one to you because this is uh, big. This is big. But outside of the world of high finances and him, a lot have never really heard of Schwab or his forum. But those who are leaders of countries with protests are now starting to realize that they are now seeing their countries falling due to his ideas. And they're now having second thoughts. And Poland is one. And not only that, but even up in the Netherlands where the farmers are starting to protest. And they said that Schwab made a grand entrance onto the world stage by declaring that global pandemic was an opportunity to completely rebuild a society, and that they needed a great reset. And he announced in early 2019 this would be the Build Back Better. And he said this is a great idea, a great reset initiative, that all countries could use this. And lo and behold, we've seen it across the globe here in Build Back Better. And he said it was a call for action and to revolutionize and digitize society. And he said to address global warming, and he said to use it to create sufficient drive for each government to be more open for global cooperation, which means one world order. But he said the Build Back Better, he thought, was a great idea, but it was immediately met by harsh criticism from independent journalists. not only that, but the people were basically not in line with his ideas. And now with these, the right wing echoing that this is wrong, it is socialism leading to communism, and it is the crumbling of socialism. Now these leaders are starting to see that there is no plan and no way out once they fall to the bottom. Um, uh, you can't have a country go on a war footing with Klaus Schwab's plan. That's right. So, um, let's see. So, what we're seeing is world leaders now that they're falling to the bottom with no gas, and their people are freezing. The people have no food, and then they're doing the same thing as some of the third world countries have, and looking at them saying, "Now what?" And there is no what, there is no plan, and now it's up to each country to fix itself. And now they think that this idea isn't going quite as like they thought it was going. They thought it would build back better. And the WEF, I think, William, you probably correct me on this one, is the one that hands money out to different countries to help them out. Well, even they're turning their backs. And now we have the global bankers that are now starting to go into place. And then we have Jinping saying, I'm the world leader. Uh, so it's very important in November that we all get out there and put in what we want our country to be, because it's not just our country, it's globally. And globally, everyone is showing through their own elections that this isn't what they want. And they're putting in new leaders that don't want Klaus Schwab in charge. Who is he to be in charge? So, and who's he to put in a great reset and for everybody to listen to? And not IMF. Thank you, IMF. There you go. Thank you. Um, so it's the IMF that is the one that's they're looking to bail them out and have their countries be okay again. And this new Green Deal just isn't working out. All right, let's find out the answer and move along. Um, And the answer is the last of the Mohicans. The last of the Mohicans. I'm going to do one or two of these. Oh boy. Let's see if we got this. No. Okay. A 1972 mountain man who wishes to live the life of a hermit becomes the unwilling object of a long vendetta by the Crow tribe. This had Robert Redford. This is not the Dances with Wolves. I'll give you a hint on that. This was a 1972 Mountain Man movie. Let's see if you guys remember this one. And this was starring Robert Redford. When I first ran it by everybody here, they all said Dances with Wolves, and I'm like, no, it's earlier than that. Earlier, way back. Go back to 2 decades. This was a very popular mountain man movie. Did anybody ever see Man in the Wilderness? Put your comments below if you have. Now, I went to the movies and seen that. I had nightmares about that. And what it was is a gentleman that was part of a ship, and I'm not sure what they were shipping. It's been a long time. And they were out, and he happened to be attacked by a bear. And the bear ripped him up, and they thought he was dead, so they left him. And he ended up having to basically heal himself. And then he had a vendetta for the ship mates and the captain for leaving him for dead. All right, so William, International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Yeah, IMF. So anyway, anybody know what this is? It's a 1972, a mountain man who wishes to live the life of a hermit becomes unwilling. A Walk in the Forest. We have Grizzly Adams. Let's put down some of these. I bet you guys have seen the movie A lot of you, I'm thinking Susan and Linda and Karen, I bet you guys have seen this movie and just never thought about it is being a classic. This is considered to be a classic. All right, so we're going to move on, and you're going to find out the name of this movie. Jeremiah Johnson. The answer is Jeremiah Johnson. Nobody got that one. All right, let's go to the next one. Retired Old West gunslinger William Money reluctantly takes on one last job with the help of his old partner, Ned Logan. Name the movie. This had Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Morgan Freeman in it. Let's see. You've never heard of it, Susan? Look it up. I believe they have it on YouTube. And some of these other, like, what's some of the other ones? Tubi, free TV or whatever some of them are now, LG and um, um, something point. A lot of these free movie channels now, FilmRise. But look it up. It's a very good movie with Robert Redford and him being a mountain man. And he's got a little mountain man, I think a little Indian that comes into the scene too. Kind of like, I think it was a pre-sequel to Grizzly Adams in a way. So, anybody know the name of this movie? Retired Old West gunslinger William Money reluctantly takes one last job with the help of the old partner, Ned Logan. Name the movie. It was Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman. What is the name? We got some answers coming into the chat. We have quite a few. So, let's get... Okay, where's all the ladies tonight? Where's Judith? I thought Judith would get all of these tonight. Judith, when you rewatch it, answer down in chat, down in the comments. Maybe you might get some of these. All right, and the answer, because we're getting, boy, this is making your heart hurt or your head hurt. Answer is for Unforgiven. I tell you, DB, I think I got you guys thinking on this one. All right, here we go. Beans, hard biscuits, dried meat, dried fruit, and coffee on a wagon trail. This was served by a temporary kitchen. Name the kitchen. Okay, this is something that has to do with cowboys. It's not a movie. This has to do with cowboys. What do you call the kitchen on a wagon trail? What do you call the kitchen on a wagon trail? And it's universal. They use it on all the movies, all the cowboy movies. So I'm going to move on to the next. We seen down in Florida where we had quite a few that were getting into the water that were having a brain-eating type of amobia. Well, now they're finding the same thing from Lake Mead. Now that Lake Mead is now coming back up, they have had quite a few cases. And one little boy has died after the exposure to this rare brain-eating disease. And they said it was due to Lake Mead. So those playing around Lake Mead, be very careful, they say. And if you have headaches or flu-type symptoms that are really harsh, they're asking you to go to your doctor and be sure to be checked out, especially young children and the old. So, all right. We have a chuck wagon on both, and Karen even threw in Unforgiven on the last one, a little late, but she'll still get the point for it. Now realize, and you guys are like, wait a minute, she answered after. No, there is a delay in the show. It's 1 minute to 3 minutes for people. Now I used to have this when I played Pogo. Sometimes in Pogo, when I was playing and doing trivia, it would be close to 4 minutes. And people would say, no, they're cheating. No, they're not cheating. They just have slower systems. And with everybody playing on phones and computers, and everybody having a different uh, way of getting it in timely, no one's getting it immediately. It does take a little bit of time. All right, so the answer is the Chuck Wagon Pantry. So yes, some of you guys did get it. Did that make your head hurt, DB? You had to think about that one, huh? All right, we're going to move on to the next one because I'm only half through. As you guys could see, I'm only halfway through. What do cowboys wear over their jeans? What do cowboys wear over their jeans? What are they called? Well, you wouldn't. Oh boy, it just gave you the answer. Um, Yikes. I guess everybody gets the point for that one because the answer is chaps. Um, no, Karen, you would be surprised. It's not you. It's I've had emails say, well, so and so answered um, like a day after uh, you had trivia. How do they get it if they could just go through the whole thing? Um, and it's really hard. It's really hard to do this trivia and give everybody the points. So um, basically, everybody's going to get a point. I gave everybody the answer to that. Where's Linda G and Judith? They would have got the point for it. So chaps is the answer. Is what uh, cowboys wear over their pants. Now, hopefully, I can stop it this time. All right. To communicate with the horse, what did cowboys wear on their boots? And this is a device that's put on your boots, and it's only meant to communicate with the horse. But for some reason, in some of these westerns, they have close-ups as they're walking down the street of these things on the back of their boots. And what do you call them? I think I gave you guys too much. There we go, everybody. I gave you guys too much info. Oh boy, too much info. I think everybody knows what these are. And this is only just a breakaway because I figured everybody's brain would be hurting um, by, having to think of the movies. So I did a little bit of this cowboy stuff, and then I'm going to go right back into the movies. And so get ready for it. A 1995 movie. This is a female gunfighter. Returns to frontier town where a dueling tournament is being held, which she enters in effort to avenge her father's death. This was starring Sharon Stone. Um, I always thought she was part of Unforgiven. That's what I always thought. She was in that one, and it was like, no, no, it's another movie. So I had two movies I tried to combine into one when I was telling someone about it. I was like, yeah, she's in it. They're like, no, she wasn't. I was like, yeah, she was. And then I went and looked, and I was wrong. I was wrong. So it's a Sharon Stone movie, and she's a female gunfighter, and she returns to avenge her father's death. Do you know the movie? Boy, we're getting thick into that tonight. Getting thick into uh, the trivia. Now, as far as news, U.S. B-1 bombers land in Guam amid tension surrounding Taiwan and North Korea. The United States has decided to strengthen its position in Asia as Air Force B-1B bombers land in Guam. According to the White House, the decision to send the long-range aircraft was taken due to the ongoing tensions in Taiwan. They are now starting to put military planes and equipment on islands that are our allies. And it's meant to send a message that the United States stands closely with its allied partners and maybe show Jinping that we are ready, we are serious, and that we don't that big superpowers do not need to go to war. The Air Force has also confirmed that this is a temporary deployment as a part of the Bomber Task Force mission. The bomber's presence is also aimed at demonstrating the United States has the capability to conduct global operations at any time. So we put B-1 bombers on Guam. Um, all right, no clue. Uh, Karen says she has no clue. And DB and William's on it tonight. William, is Susan whispering to you and she's just not answering tonight? You think? Because you're right up there. So, and boy, DB's got them all real good, and even with his making his head hurt. Um, so, all right, Sharon Stone, 1995 movie. What is it? Answer is The Quick and the Dead. All right, and we move onward. This 1090, I think it's 1990. Sorry about that. Sharpshooter is hired from Wyoming by an Australian rancher, paying a very high price. But when he arrives down under, all is not as it seems. And name the movie. Tom Selleck starred in it, and his name is the same as the movie. That's why it's He Arrives Down Under. Down Under is a big hint on this. He's a sharpshooter, and he goes to Australia. Anybody know what this movie is? A famous Tom Selleck. I watched one today with Tom Selleck in it. It was pretty good. He was like a Confederate or a Union soldier, and he was looking for his brothers. I think it had a can't think of that guy other actor's name, but it was a really good movie. Everybody ought to know these. I don't know. Did you ever watch Western, Susan? Did you ever watch some of these Westerns? So, oh boy. All right, so let's get the answer to this. We're getting down to the last few. The answer is Quigley Down Under. The answer is Quigley Down Under. Excellent movie, Susans. If you haven't seen any of these are awesome movies. All right, 1990 movie, Lieutenant John Dunbar, assigned to a remote Western Civil War outpost. He befriends wolves and the Native Americans. This is starring Kevin Costner. Name the movie. I mentioned this before. I probably gave you guys the answer earlier on. Some Westerns, not all of them. I think it's because my mom was a big John Wayne fan. She even had a big portrait of him in her living room, and then she moved it to her bedroom. That kind of made me wonder. Mom, John Wayne in the bedroom, and you love him. But she watched every single one of the Westerns that you could possibly watch. And so, of course, growing up and me having to watch what Mom watched, I got to see a lot of them. But I do like a lot of Westerns. So, all right. I think everybody got this one. So, Susan, you need to catch up. Just like give 5 answers at once. I don't think you could do that. All right, let's get to these last few. And the answer is Dances with Wolves. Dances with Wolves. And we're going to move on to the next one. The 1972 hit movie, Richard Will Anderson is forced to hire inexperienced boys as cowhands in order to get his herd to the market on time. This is starring John Wayne and Bruce Dern. Name the movie. Here's a John Wayne movie. Now he hired the hint would be he hired inexperienced boys. So that should give you a little bit of a clue to what the movie is. Um, Now, guess what? Um, just when we think that we know the writers of Saturday Night Live, well, guess what? The writers of Biden's speeches, the ones that he reads, are the ones that wrote all the skits for Saturday Night Live for when Biden was considered part of it, and the skits and other political figures. They're not saying who it is, but it was actually not the SNL writers. It was White House interns that write speeches that wrote for Saturday Night Live during the first part, and they're still doing it. So if you watch Saturday Night Live, think about it. That you got Biden's people that are writing these scripts for him, so he don't look so bad. Sad, very sad. Um, so I can't believe it because you know Saturday Night Live over decades have been making fun of every president. It's always funny. I mean, think of the original prime time players, Eddie Murphy and uh, um, oh boy, I'm trying to think, Gilda Radner. Um, Jane, what's her name? But they were the originals, and it was funny. It was okay to make fun of our politics, and now it's not. It has gotten so horrible you can't even watch the show. And I remember as a teenager, I couldn't wait for Saturdays to watch Saturday Night Live. Um, Karen's not a big John Wayne fan, and that was before her time for Susan. We have Cowboys, DB thinks. Um, so, uh, all right. So, and let's see, Chisholm Trail. So let's see what the name of the movie is. And the answer the hint was The Experienced Boys. And if you haven't seen it, the answer is Cowboys. The Cowboys. All right, on to the next. In 1991, a trio of middle aged men search of their lost youth gets more than what they bargained for during a 2-week vacation on a cattle drive, starring Billy Crystal. This one had Billy Crystal. There was two of them. The second one was called Curly's Revenge. Name the movie. It's a trio of middle-aged men starring Billy Crystal. This is one of my favorites. I have quite a few favorites. People say, "Oh, well, what's your favorites?" Well, All of Me is one with Lily Tomlin. The other one is The Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox, which is an old one with Goldie Hawn. The other one is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And this movie, these two movies would have to be one of my favorites. So I think everybody knows these. All right. Okay. See, Susan, yeah, I think you've seen this one. So we're moving on. And answer City Slickers. So if you haven't seen any of those movies that are my favorites, go watch them. They're pretty funny. Um um I love comedies is the thing. I love watching comedies. And um Blazing Saddles, but they've cut it up so bad that it's not really the same anymore. But Blazing Saddle was another one, and so, but that's now the woke sin. They just don't like some of these jokes that we had back in the 70s and 80s. You saw that one. Did you see the second one? Uh, did you see the second one? It was Curly's Revenge. I like those movies. Um, and if you haven't seen some of the other ones I mentioned, like The Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox, that was a good one. That was a 70s movie, early. It kind of weird, but I think you guys might laugh at it. And of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And, that was definitely a good one. So, you never saw the second one, Curly's Revenge? I like it better than the first one. So, all right. Here we go. Oops. Does anybody know this one? All right. The Adventure of Brady Hawks on his way to help his young son while also helping other poker gamblers learn to play it right. This is starring Kenny Rogers. So let's see if you guys know that one. This one I think everybody should know. It's an easy one. We went from everybody knew the first ones to it went a little harder, then it went kind of easy, then it went hard. Now it's going back to the easy stuff. I think I've melded in all the good ones for tonight. All right. So let's get the answer to this one. The answer is The Gambler. The Gambler. All right. This is a 1968 movie. Susan, you might not have seen this one. It's a naive, unsuspected East Coast dentist that joins a wagon train to catch smugglers that have been selling guns to the Indians. This is a huge comedy, and it starred Don Knotts as a dentist of all things. Now, you would really have to know or have watched this. Now, my favorite Don Knotts movie would be The Incredible Mr. Limpet. If you guys haven't seen that one, if you're too young to have seen it, go watch it. That is definitely a good one. Um, Now, I wouldn't, there's musicals in some of these westerns. Um, Now, Clint Eastwood singing in Paint Your Wagon, not a good thing. Not a good thing. Uh, I think that one didn't quite make it at the movie theaters. But this one here is Don Knotts is a dentist, and he's naive. He's scared. Uh, do you know? Hey, there's Linda. Linda, you've missed out. These were some good ones tonight. You might have to go back through and watch and put your answers. You haven't seen this one, DB? Ah, let's see if anybody. Susan, do you know this one? If not, go watch it because this one I know is on YouTube. I passed it up earlier when I was looking for some news for tonight, and I don't mean not to do much. Um, the One of the last news stories, Hong Kong chiefs gives a 3-hour speech supporting a communist takeover of the country and maybe even further to the islands and some of the islands where their allies are. And they're going to suggest it. But this gentleman was nonstop for 3 hours. Um, I think it's something that me and William can pick apart on Wednesday because Jinping and this guy is very serious about going pure communist. And one of the big things was Jinping would not have to run for leader of the country after that. So, okay. So let's see what we got here. And we have Karen and DB are tied right now. The answer is the shakiest gun in the West. The shakiest gun in the West. Now, I think this one, it might be the last one. And it's a little hard, but if this is a movie that you'd had to have seen to know the name of. This is a Western ranch owner, Katie. And she has a last name, but it's the name of the movie. So, the first part of the movies is Katie. Or in there is in the movie. Her 4 sons determined to avenge the murder of their father and swindling of their mother. This starred John Wayne. I'm sorry, folks. John Wayne and Dean Martin. So, what is the movie? Name the movie. The ranch owner, Katie, her 4 sons, to avenge the murder of their father and swindling of their mother. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. I got you down, Linda. I sure did. You had a wee bit. Oh, well, no crises. We had a little one here today too, and unfortunately, had my daughter upset for a little bit, but we got it under control. And yeah, hopefully her birthday turned out really good. They went to the pumpkin patch today too. So, not a John Wayne fan. Um, so let's see. I believe this might be the last one of the night. Uh, Answered the Sons of Katie Elder. Like I said, this is something you might have to watch and see. So we thank you for playing and watching tonight. So that is it. Now we almost had a tie between Karen and DB. Did you get that one, Karen? No, I don't see it. So we have let me get this in here. Okay, so it's going to be a way to go DB on the win of 16 right. Karen had 15, Susan had 7, William had 13. Boy, that's a record for you tonight, William. And Linda G had 1. And we thank you for playing tonight. Tell your friends and family about it. Have them come in and play some trivia or watch. Very popular. One of our shows that a lot of people seem to watch over the weekend. And subscribe and share. Hit that bell, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the love bug. And over on Facebook, hit your follow and your likes. And of course, you can answer tomorrow or Sunday, and you'll still be counted if you answer all of them. And I'll let you know how many you got right. All right. So, with that, folks, you have a wonderful weekend. It's cool. It's nice. Get out and enjoy the fall harvest festivals, or even some people are even having county fairs. And we do appreciate you supporting us and watching us. And we ask that you just share our program. And, of course, we'll put you up in the comments. And if you have a comment or question, we'll put you on the board. So with that, folks, you have a wonderful night. And fill the churches on Sundays. And I'll try to catch up on all of the videos this weekend. And of course, you'll see the funny list on Hellions, Holes, and Poles by Sunday. And with that, we will see everyone Monday. And take care. And God bless.